On a cold winter evening, the streets were adorned with shimmering lights and festive decorations, marking the heart of the Christmas season. Snowflakes drifted lazily to the ground, carpeting the sidewalks in a soft white blanket. Among the cheerful holiday bustle, a small figure trudged along the cobbled street, his breath visible in the frosty air. It was Alex, a 9-year-old boy with bright eyes full of determination, clad in a slightly worn winter coat and a knitted scarf that his mother had made for him last year. Alex clutched a small pouch tightly in his hand as he approached the entrance of a clothing and handbag store nestled on the corner of the street. The store's glass door displayed elegant mannequins, draped in warm winter attire, and Alex's eyes immediately went to the prominent handbag on the shelf inside. It was the same handbag his mother had seen many times before walking past the shop with him. She had often paused to admire it, her gaze lingering wistfully on the soft fabric and beautiful patterns. Alex knew it was the perfect gift for her, something she would never buy for herself. Pushing open the glass door, Alex stepped inside. A bell tinkled above his head, announcing his arrival. The warmth of the shop was a welcome contrast to the chilly outdoors, and the faint scent of pine and cinnamon lingered in the air. The boy hesitated for a moment, his gaze sweeping over the neatly arranged racks of clothing before fixating on the scarf. With careful steps, he made his way to the display, his small fingers brushing against the handbag. It felt as soft and luxurious as he had imagined. As Alex brought the handbag to the counter, his heart thudded with nervous excitement. The shop assistant, a kind-looking woman with silver-rimmed glasses, scanned the item and smiled at him. "That'll be $25, young man," she said gently. Alex's face fell slightly as he opened his pouch and began counting the money he had painstakingly saved. He laid out the money on the counter. The total came to just under $20. I think I'm a little lacking," Alex admitted, his voice trembling with disappointment. He looked up at the shop assistant with wide, bad eyes. The woman's smile wavered, her sympathy evident, but before she could respond, the bell above the door tinkled again, and a tall man entered the store, wrapped in a long, dark coat and wearing a black hat that partially shadowed his face. The man exuded an air of quiet confidence. It was Bob Thornton. Though Alex didn't recognize him, Thornton paused near the entrance, taking a moment to brush the snow off his coat. Before glancing around the shop, his eyes landed on Alex at the counter, the small pile of money and the handbag on the counter. Something about the scene caught his attention, and he lingered instead of heading directly to the shelves. Bob Thornton stepped closer, his footsteps muffled by the plush carpet. He stopped a few feet away, watching the boy's determination and sincerity. Alex, oblivious to the newcomer's presence, continued trying to make his case. "Can you discount the bag a little? It's for my mom," and he explained earnestly to the shop assistant. "She works so hard, and I want her to have this." His words faltered, his confidence slipping away. Those words inspired him through those words, and he decided to do something. He approached the boy. "Excuse me," and Thornton said, his deep voice cutting gently through the moment. Alex turned to face him, his eyes filled with a mixture of curiosity and nervousness. "Is this for your mom?" Thornton asked, nodding toward the handbag. Alex nodded hesitantly. "Yes, sir. It's a Christmas present. I want to buy it, to give to her, but I don't have enough money." "Shy." Bob Thornton's gaze softened as he looked at the boy, who seemed to shrink slightly under his attention. The sincerity in Alex's voice and the tender way he spoke about his mother struck something deep within him. He could feel the weight of Alex's disappointment in not being able to afford the gift, a simple wish to make his mother's Christmas special. Without a second thought, Thornton placed a hand on the boy's shoulder, offering him a reassuring smile. You know, it's rare to see a young man so determined to give something special to his mother, and he said, his voice warm and kind. Alex blinked up at him, still unsure about the stranger's intentions. I just wanted to know how much I love her, he whispered, his voice tinged with the vulnerability of a child who didn't fully understand how life sometimes had a way of pulling at your heartstrings in unexpected ways. Thornton felt a lump form in his throat at the boy's words. He could see a reflection of his younger self in Alex, a time when he, too, had wanted to do something meaningful for the people he loved, but life had often been more difficult than he had hoped. Now, standing before this determined boy, he felt an overwhelming urge to make sure Alex's Christmas wish came true. Turning toward the shop assistant, Thornton gave a small nod, signaling for her to come closer. I'd like to buy that bag for the boy, he said, his voice steady but low, as if sharing a secret. But let's keep it simple. Tell him that the store is running a special promotion just for today. The bag is discounted exactly by the amount of money he has. He gave a small smile, one that reflected both his quiet generosity and the understanding that sometimes the best gifts are the ones that come unexpectedly. The assistant's eyes widened in surprise, but she nodded quickly, a smile spreading across her face. She glanced at Alex, then at Thornton, and moved behind the counter to process the transaction. Then she came back immediately, smiling brightly, and said, Alex, she called gently, I have good news for you. The boy looked up, a flicker of hope in his eyes. The woman smiled. Yes, the store is running a special offer today. The bag you want is now discounted exactly by the amount you have. No need for anything extra. Shay. Alex's mouth dropped open in disbelief. He glanced between the shop assistant and Billy Bob Thornton, unable to understand how it was possible. The assistant smiled, turning her attention to the task at hand. Wait a moment. I will wrap this up for you. Alex, still processing what had just happened, glanced up at Thornton. Thornton nodded and smiled brightly. That's too good. As the shop assistant continued wrapping the handbag, Billy Bob Thornton motioned for Alex to sit in one of the plush velvet chairs near the counter. Let's sit down here and wait for her. Alex, still processing the kindness of the unexpected gift, when he sat down beside Thornton. For a moment, there was silence between them, the soft music of the church filling the air. Billy Bob Thornton leaned back in his chair, looking at the boy thoughtfully. What's your name? He asked. His eyes filled with both curiosity and warmth. The boy smiled, sat up a little straighter, and replied, naturally, my name is Alex. Billy Bob nodded slightly. After a moment's hesitation, he continued, his voice deeper this time. I saw you mention your mother earlier. So, what kind of person is she? Alex's eyes brightened at the question, and he was eager to talk about his mother. She's amazing, but he began, his voice full of admiration. She works 2 jobs, one as a waitress at a diner and another as a cleaner at an office building. She's always tired when she comes home, but she never complains. She just keeps going, no matter what. Alex paused for a moment, the words caught in his throat, as he tried to convey just how much he admired her. Thornton listened intently, his gaze fixed on the boy, who spoke with such passion and pride. He could hear the love and respect in Alex's voice, and it struck him how much responsibility a boy so young had taken on, understanding the sacrifices his mother made. Sounds like she's a really strong woman, Thornton said after a moment. Alex nodded, a small, wistful smile appearing on his face. I try to work as much as I can. I want to help her. Thornton nodding approvingly. So what did you do? As Alex answered it gently, I do little things, take care of the house, walk the dog, and sometimes I even shovel snow for the neighbors. But the money I saved to buy this bag for her, Alex paused, saying, as if it held all of his hopes and dreams wrapped up in a single package. I wanted to make sure I could buy her something special. She always does so much for me, and I wanted to make her Christmas perfect. Thornton smiled at the boy's words, feeling a deep sense of respect for him. That's admirable, Alex. Not everyone your age would go through all those difficulties just to make someone else happy. You've got a loving heart. Chai. Thornton sat quietly for a moment, reflecting on what Alex had just said. For Alex, it was a quiet promise to make sure his mother was never overlooked, to show her how loved she truly was. I think she's going to be touched when she sees that bag, Thornton said, his voice soft with sincerity. And not just because it's a beautiful gift, but because you put so much thought into it. That's the best part of any gift, the love behind it. Alex's face lit up at those words, and he nodded vigorously. I hope so, he said, his voice filled with hope. She's always saying that we don't need fancy things, but I know she really wants this. I just want her to be happy. Chai. Billy Bob Thornton gave him a knowing smile. You're doing more than just making her happy, Alex. You're showing her that you appreciate everything she's done for you. And that's something she'll carry with her forever. Chai. As the minutes passed, the two continued talking, with Alex sharing more about his family and the little things he did to help out around the house. Thornton asked about his school, his friends, and even what he hoped for this Christmas. Despite the hard work he'd put into saving for the gift, Alex's joy in the simple pleasures of life was contagious. Thornton couldn't help but smile as he listened to the boy, who seemed wise beyond his years. Alex smiled, nodding eagerly. I'm going to make her the best Christmas ever. Thornton chuckled softly, his eyes twinkling with warmth. Your mum's lucky to have you. The shop assistant finished wrapping the bag and handed it over to Alex, who took it with trembling hands, as if it were the most precious thing in the world. Thank you, Alex said, his voice quiet but full of gratitude. He stood up, turning toward Thornton with a serious expression. Thank you for taking the time to me. As Alex left the store, clutching the wrapped handbag, Billy Bob Thornton watched him go, a deep sense of contentment filling his chest. The world could always use more people like Alex, people who understood the true meaning of giving. And in that moment, Thornton was reminded of the small acts of kindness that had the power to change lives. The bell above the door tinkled as it swung open, and Thornton took one last look around the shop, his heart lighter than it had been in a long time. It wasn't just about the gifts or the season. It was about the people we care about and the simple acts of love that make the world a better place. And in Alex, he had witnessed the purest form of that love. Inside the store, Billy Bob Thornton lingered, his thoughts still on the boy. There was something about Alex's innocence and determination that had struck a chord with him. He turned to the shop assistant, who was tidying the counter. Where Alex's money in the counter, he paid for the remaining balance of the handbag Alex bought. In his heart, there was a feeling of great happiness and peace. When Alex goes home, Mum, I'm home, Alex called out, his voice echoing slightly. A woman's voice answered from another room. I'm in the kitchen. Sweetheart, how was your day? Alex quickly set the box down on a worn coffee table and ran to the kitchen, his excitement bubbling over. It was great. I've got a surprise for you. Chai. What kind of surprise? She asked, her tone playful but curious. Alex pulled his mother's hand outside. Come out here with me. Then they went to the living room. This is the gift I want for you. He pointed to the bow wrapped in the bag. Alex stood beside his mother as she carefully opened the box, her hands trembling as the wrapping came off. Her eyes widened when she saw the handbag inside, her breath catching in her throat. It was exactly the one she had always admired, the one she had dreamed of owning but would never spend the money on. As the realization hit, tears began to form in her eyes, slipping down her cheeks. She gently touched the soft fabric of the bag. "Alex," she whispered, her voice thick with emotion. This is beautiful, but how did you get this?" She looked up at him, her face full of confusion and disbelief. "How did you afford this? It costs so much." Alex stood still for a moment, feeling his heart swell with a mix of pride and nervousness. He had been so focused on getting the bag for her, he hadn't thought about how to explain it all. But now, looking into his mother's eyes, he knew he had to tell her the truth. "I've been doing extra chores for people in the neighborhood," Alex explained quietly, his voice almost shy. "I wanted to buy you something nice, something you really deserve. Because you work so hard for me, Mum. I went to the store and they had a sale today." Chai. His mother's tears fell, but now they were tears of overwhelming gratitude. Alex stood beside her, his arms around her waist, looking up at her with a mix of pride and love. She said through her tears, "Thank you. It's the most beautiful gift I've ever received." She pulled Alex into her arms, holding him tight against her, as if she could never let go of him. "You're my everything, Alex," she whispered through her sobs. "I'm so proud of you. Thank you. You've made this the best Christmas I could ever have." Chai. Tears to fall, but now they were tears of overwhelming gratitude. She pulled Alex into her arms, holding him tight against her, as if she could never let go of him. "You're my everything, Alex," she whispered through her sobs. "I'm so proud of you. Thank you. You've made this the best Christmas I could ever have." Chai. Alex squeezed her back, feeling the warmth of her love surround him. He couldn't find the words to express everything he was feeling, but he knew one thing for sure. This Christmas, he had done something that made his mother feel cherished, and that was the best gift of all. Alex smiled up at her, his heart light. "I'm glad you like it, Mum. Merry Christmas." Chai. As they stood there together, wrapped in each other's arms, the love and warmth between them seemed to fill the entire room. Despite the struggles they had faced, this moment was one of pure happiness. And for Alex, it was the greatest gift he could ever give. The story of Alex and his mother contains profound human values, especially about love, sacrifice, and gratitude. Alex not only thinks about himself, but also always cares about his mother's feelings and happiness. The gift that Alex gave his mother was not only material, but also his sincere feelings, understanding, and sacrifice. Billy Bob Thornton's actions are small but meaningful actions. Helping others without showing off or seeking praise can really create far-reaching and lasting impacts. Keeping his identity secret, making the action more natural and sincere, highlighting the beauty of kindness without the spotlight, especially in difficult circumstances. Moreover, Billy Bob Thornton, despite being a celebrity, did not put himself above others. The humility in his actions shows that each of us can make a difference. Whether in simple or complex situations, if we have an open heart and are willing to help. If you were Thornton, what would you do in a situation like this? We'd love to hear your thoughts, so leave a comment below. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.